Suspensions within the Plainfield Police Department take center stage at a meeting tonight. What we expect to hear.
And many of you saw a quick burst of snow this morning on your drive to work. Is your car ready for winter? What you need to know.
An explosion rocks a home in Huntington. What one neighbor says he heard and saw.
Now, live from Wish TV, this is 24-hour News 8 at 5 o'clock.
Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with a deadly school shooting.
3 students are dead at a high school in Aztec, New Mexico. That's about 3 hours northwest of Albuquerque. Police say the gunman, who is also a student, is among the dead. No other injuries have been reported. Students were in class when they got an announcement over the school intercom to go into lockdown mode.
The intercom came on and not athletic director, dean of students told us that we needed to go into lockdown. It wasn't a drill. So everybody started to get scared, and my teacher locked all the doors and put us in the corner in the dark. I didn't know what was going on, and so everyone just sat there really, really scared. And then my teacher finally told us that she got news that there was an active shooter. And so we were all in the corner really scared, and we could just hear shots and the helicopter coming.
Terrifying moments. Police cleared and searched the school when they arrived. They have not released any other details, including the names of the victims. State and federal investigators are now working to determine what happened before the shooting.
All right, back here at home in 1 hour, the Plainfield Police Commission scheduled to meet. These are the people who decide what will happen to a captain who was suspended last month for an outburst during training.
You may remember this. I-Team 8 first broke this story, so we sent Stephanie Zeppelin to the meeting. Stephanie, good evening.
Brenna, Phil, we first told you about Captain Weber last week. The board that's going to meet here at police headquarters will decide what her fate is and what happens next. Our open records request revealed this video. The video doesn't show Captain Weber, but you can hear another officer questioning statistics being used in the training, and then you hear Captain Weber tell him he doesn't understand because of his white male privilege. This is not the first disciplinary issue for Captain Weber. She was suspended without pay for 2 weeks in August after the board found she violated the department's drug and alcohol policy. At the police commission's last regular meeting in November, they put her on paid administrative leave. They said that was for the incident in the training, but the town of Plainfield said yesterday the board will consider not just what she said at the training, but all of her disciplinary history over the last 6 months while making a decision. We have looked at their itinerary for tonight. The agenda is not very detailed, but you can bet they're probably going to talk about Weber. That may, though, be in closed session since it's a personnel matter. Either way, you can be sure that we're going to ask them about it. Live in Plainfield, Stephanie Zeppelin, I-Team 8.
Stephanie, thank you. We have a traffic alert to pass along today.
Yeah, we'll get straight on over to Brad Mousehart with the very latest. Brad.
Yeah, a little bit of a mess here on the south side of town. You can see a lot of red showing up here on 465. That's eastbound, but on the south side of town, because 65 southbound is shut down right now. Right around the Southport Road exit, that's exit 103. You can see the purple shading there indicating the shutdown roadway. It's not going to be for long. The reason they have it shut down, an accident here on the northbound side is requiring air care to land right now. They're waiting on that helicopter to land here on the southbound side. So that's why the road is temporarily closed down. So once they get that reopened, that will again allow the traffic to start to move again southbound. But for the meantime, try to avoid that area if you can. Take one of the side streets here through Southport proper to kind of get around that traffic mess. Now, weather-wise, we're not seeing any problems across the state. We saw a little bit of flurry activity earlier. Now just a lot of lake effect snow up towards northern Indiana. We're dry now with mostly clear skies and a little bit of a west breeze. These temperatures are going to fall off quickly throughout the night tonight. So while we're not going to see any snowfall, you will need the big winter coat. We're at 27 degrees, but it feels like just 17 outside. And by early tomorrow morning, some spots, it's going to feel like the single digits. We're on the verge of that right now up in Kokomo. 24 degrees there, but it feels like 12, 25 in Delaware County, and a balmy 28 degrees over in Vigo County. So temperature-wise tonight, just before midnight, we're going to be dropping back down right to about 20 degrees or so, 21 degrees by 11, 20 degrees by midnight. By early tomorrow morning, we'll sink all the way back to 16. So a very frigid start to your Friday. But as we work our way through the rest of the day, we'll at least rebound a little bit to 34. That's just ahead of our next chance for accumulating snowfall for Saturday. You've been hearing a lot about that. I'll let you know how much we're expecting to get coming up.
Oh, boy. All right, Brad, we'll see you soon. Thank you. Hey, the winter weather already sending local mechanics into overdrive.
Yeah, drivers across the state are trying to make sure their car is winter ready. 24-hour News 8's Tim McNicholas visited a mechanic today. He's now live outside our building. Tim, we hear they gave you some tips.
Yeah, that's right, Brenna. Mechanics say that if your car is not ready for the winter, you could end up with a stalled car on the side of the road, or worse, with an injury. Looking at the roads now, I can see that none of that snow that fell today stuck to the ground, and Mother Nature has been good to Indiana all fall, but meteorologists say you shouldn't get used to it. It's snow day at All-Star Auto Service, but the sounds of winter echo through the garage.
Yeah, it's a nice time of year. The holidays are always a good thing, you know?
You're watching head tech Andrew Trefney put winter tires on a car for the third time today, a job he says the shop is doing on average 6 or 7 times a day.
You know, maintenance is everything. I got a car with 213,000 miles on it, drives like it's brand new.
AAA recommends all drivers prepare for winter by checking tires, battery, oil, coolant, lights, and wipers. Trefney replaced the coolant on this truck today to prevent freezing in the radiator.
That's going to be the best thing you can do, and your car's going to last 3 times, 4 times as long.
Today marks Indiana's first snowfall of the season.
Now we're also getting to an active pattern where we're seeing a storm system come through every other day.
Storm Track 8's Brad Moushart says Indiana typically gets about 22 inches of snow every winter. He's expecting that and maybe more.
An active one where we see a lot of storm systems, but it just depends on where those storm systems, the cold air, are at the same time. And timing is going to be playing a big part this winter.
AAA says even if your car is winter ready, you should keep an emergency kit: water, snacks, a shovel, first aid, flashlights, and extra clothes in your car.
Stay safe out on the roads, guys.
So tonight at 6, we're going to take a look at some more tips, including what you should do to take care of a frozen door handle, for example. We'll also be posting some tips on our website, wishtv.com. For now, live just outside our studios, I'm Tim McNicholas, 24-Hour News 8.
Tim, thank you. The economy seems to be improving. However, need seems to be growing.
Yeah, so local food pantries are reporting record numbers of families. Our Elizabeth Choi joining us now. Elizabeth, this is a widespread problem.
It really is, Phil. Gleaner's Food Bank provides food to many pantries across central Indiana. They met with their pantry partners just yesterday and say every single one has seen an increase in people coming through their doors. Interchurch Food Pantry of Johnson County, for example, it's been around for 33 years now, and this year has been the busiest on record, with nearly 20% more families coming through. Pantry manager Carol Phipps says, and those in need aren't who you'd expect. They're seeing an increased number of senior citizens as well as those working, but still not able to make ends meet.
I don't make a lot of money or anything. I need help with food mostly.
And I'm hoping that one day that I don't have to do all this, that I would rather actually be the one to go out and give back to the community for what they have given me, especially this place.
Interchurch allows families to come twice per month. Phipps says many of their customers take advantage of that. The holiday season is the busiest time for most food pantries coming up. How much has need gone up this season? That answer and more at 6 o'clock. But for now, in the studio, Elizabeth Choi, 24-Hour News 8.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you very much. A house explodes in Huntington. The fire chief says they got the call around 6 o'clock this morning. Firefighters say when they arrived, the house was engulfed in flames. Medics took one man to the hospital. No word yet on his name or his condition. Investigators say nobody else was inside the house. A neighbor described what he saw and what he heard.
I just woke up, the sirens and lights, and hearing the house exploded behind me. It was just a big boom. It sounded like something onward, like a truck or something.
My goodness, the cause of that explosion still under investigation tonight. A home next door had some minor damage as a result of that blast. Democratic Senator Al Franken announcing he's stepping down in the wake of a series of sexual misconduct allegations.
Now, this comes 2 days after Democratic Congressman John Conyers announced he would retire after facing multiple allegations of sexual harassment. As Karen Kafa reports, it's setting the stage for another political battle already embroiled in sex abuse allegations.
In the coming weeks, I will be resigning as a member of the United States Senate.
Senator Al Franken saying he will step down, but stopping short of apologizing 24 hours after a wave of Democratic colleagues urged him to resign amid multiple sexual misconduct allegations.
There is a big part of me that will always regret having to walk away from this job with so much work left to be done.
The Senate Ethics Committee began investigating Franken in November after a radio anchor alleged he groped and forcibly kissed her during a 2006 USO tour. Franken apologized, but since then, additional women have come forward with new claims against him.
You need to draw a line in the sand and say none of it is okay.
Franken's departure happening in the heat of another special election with sexual misconduct at the forefront. Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore in Alabama is accused of pursuing relationships with a number of teenage girls while he was in his 30s and of assault by 2 of them. Franken referenced Moore along with President Trump and the infamous Access Hollywood tape in a speech on the Senate floor Thursday.
There is some irony in the fact that I am leaving while a man who has bragged on tape about his history of sexual assault sits in the Oval Office, and a man who has repeatedly preyed on young girls campaigns for the Senate.
If Moore wins on Tuesday, Senate Republicans will face even more pressure, especially from Democrats, to oust Moore from the Senate over ethical concerns. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
All right, coming up, our David Williams sits down for a one-on-one with Governor Eric Holcomb to hear his stance on a couple of controversial issues, things like CBD oil and medical marijuana.
And the State Teachers Association lays out their priorities for the upcoming legislative session, what they want for teachers and students.
Welcome back on this Thursday night. We're just weeks away from the end of 2017. Today, Governor Eric Holcomb sat down with us to talk about some of this year's hot topics.
State House Bureau Chief David Williams joins us now with some of their conversation. David, what did you learn?
Well, this was an honest, frank, open conversation with the governor earlier today. We talked about a myriad of things, including where he stands on the marijuana debate, namely CBD oil, especially since there's confusion around the state.
CBD oil is legal. Can Hoosiers buy it in stores?
Yes, and they will continue to be able to.
Last month, Indiana's Attorney General said cannabis-derived CBD oil is illegal, except for patients of treatment-resistant epilepsy.
I want to make it just clear that we said that over the next 60 days that we would be a education mode and making sure folks know who are buying or selling that CBD oil is legal in the state of Indiana with no THC content. And will continue to be. And
our conversation shifted to the controversial medical marijuana debate. Will it be on the ballot, do you think? And would you sign it into law?
I'm not there. I'm not there, and I think that the folks that support that would be best served if they could get the support of the FDA. The FDA is the entity that approves drugs to improve our health. And they've not.
On its website, the Food and Drug Administration says it does not object to the clinical investigation of marijuana for medical use.
I'm not against studying the positive effects that may come from it, but I am not supportive of this hodgepodge, state-by-state cash business that has a ripple effect into society at large.
State Rep Jim Lucas, a Republican from Seymour, is working on medical marijuana legislation. Indiana's Association of Prosecuting Attorneys is strongly opposed to marijuana in any form.
In terms of medical or recreational, I'm not for legalizing or decriminalizing, and the folks that are just only focused on the medical benefits that may come from it, let's convince the FDA to make this not just a cash business and a state-by-state hodgepodge.
The governor said the General Assembly will have the opportunity to look over existing CBD oil laws as well as labeling requirements. David Williams, 24-Hour News 8. Brenna?
David, thank you. The Indiana State Teachers Association published their 2018 legislative priority list today. The group has 16 wishes for the new year, including improving the fairness of the state teacher licensing exam, which they say disqualifies good teachers who simply can't finish the test in the allotted time. They'd also like to make kindergarten mandatory.
We have around 7,000 children in Indiana who don't show up for kindergarten each year. They should, and they're eligible, but they don't. So when those children do show up in school, their experience is different than their peers. They're behind from the get-go.
ISTA is also prioritizing something called trauma-informed care. That's school-based mental health resources for children who have experienced any kind of trauma, including opioids in the home, neglect, even frequently deployed parents. ISTA says this would change treatment of children from what's wrong with this child to what's happened to this child. You can read the full list of priorities on wishtv.com.
Okay, outside we go right now on this freezing Thursday night. Saw some snow flurries earlier today.
We did. It was exciting for the first couple of minutes when you're inside looking outside.
Right, until you have to go out.
Then you have to be out in it.
Actually experience it, and then it's awful. It was a little windy outside, and a little cold too. Our high temperature day was 32 degrees. That was just after midnight, and all afternoon we've really spent most of the time in the mid-20s. It's going to be frigid though tomorrow morning. So if you do have to head out early to school or off back to work, bundle up. 32, like I said, just after midnight. We spent most of the afternoon right here where we're at right now in West Lafayette, which is the mid-20s. 26 degrees. That's pretty much the actual high of what we saw outside this afternoon under mostly clear skies. You can see out here at the Morse Reservoir too, these temperatures are going to fall off fast, as I mentioned earlier. Good looking sunset though underway. It's not warm by any means. So 27 degrees, and it feels like temperature with that west wind at 17. That's what it'll feel like when you walk out the door over the next couple hours. You can see clearing skies here off to the west. That little bit of cloud cover, a few of those isolated snow showers starting to move their way on out. We'll see a pretty uneventful Friday, and then Saturday, that's when we'll actually see our first real accumulating chance for snowfall of the season. Up north, it's going to be even worse. If you have to head up to South Bend this Saturday, just be aware they have put out a winter storm watch up that direction for portions of LaPorte, St. Joseph counties in northern Indiana. They are expecting maybe even double digits in terms of inches of snowfall up that way, thanks to the lake. Our area not going to be quite as bad. And here's a storm system we're keeping a very close eye on. That's our next weather maker. That will spread its way in for Saturday, but not, like I said, after an uneventful otherwise Friday here across central Indiana. Temperature-wise, as we work way through the next several hours, like I said, falling off fast. Average overnight low this time of the year is 27 degrees. We're going to be to that here over the next 15, 20 minutes or so and keep on falling from there back into the teens by the time we hit 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'll bottom out tomorrow at 16 degrees as you head back to work or school. Outside of that, just take the big coat, the shades, a lot of sunshine out there and a green light for the forecast, but that's what it's going to feel like. Even some single-digit digits in some spots tomorrow morning. So again, you will need a couple of pairs of socks from Muncie over to Lafayette as you work your way on out the door. Tomorrow we'll rebound a little bit with more sunshine, just above the freezing point, at least for a few hours, 3 to 5 o'clock or so, and then we'll fall off again. Not near the average high, and after Friday night, that's when, like I said, things are going to get a little interesting. By 6, 7, 8 o'clock, if you're heading out to maybe a high school basketball game tomorrow night, nothing to worry about here across central Indiana, but look what happens as you work way into the early overnight hours. Here come the snow showers. By 3 o'clock from Muncie back to Lafayette, we'll see light to moderate snowfall. That'll extend a little bit further southward here into Indy as we work way back towards daybreak Saturday morning. And in terms of totals, it's going to be a little bit limited here with much more snowfall the closer you get, like I said, up towards the lake. We're expecting about 1 to 2, maybe even more of a dusting as you work your way back towards Greencastle, Bloomington, Columbus. About 1 inch here, and then higher totals the further northeast you go. Like I said, South Bend, that's going to be the real stinger as we work way through the day Saturday. High temperatures only in the mid-30s through the weekend. We'll rebound a bit for Monday next week, but that's just when our next chance for another chance for accumulating snowfall slide its way back in. So very busy 8-day forecast, on and off snow chances here and there. Temperature-wise, another frigid Friday next week with overnight lows again in the teens.
Oh boy. All right, Brad, thank you. Strong winds helping to spread a devastating wildfire in California. Are firefighters making any progress? An update on the situation.
And it was pickup day for our annual Tweet for Toys campaign, right along with members of our Daybreak teams as they're greeted with more than just the toys.
We're just a couple of weeks away from Christmas, and thanks to the support from businesses across the city, the holiday will be a little brighter this year for some kids.
Yeah, Wish TV partnered once again with the Indy Public Safety Foundation for our annual Tweet for Toys, and today was the day our Daybreak crew went out to collect those toys.
Yeah, Brandy Ellis and Drew Blair were one team. They were greeted with cheers, lots of toys, and even some donuts at their stops. A warm welcome from the staff at Norris Choplin Schroeder and 151 toys under the tree.
We're just all so blessed to come in here every day, and it's just a chance for us to give back and share those blessings.
I feel like Santa.
I know.
Robert's Camera was a sponsor for this year's Tweet for Toys. Employees at their downtown and Carmel locations collected toys for kids in need.
Well, it's always a good thing to participate in the community, and it's a nice thing to do this time of year.
Allison Payment Systems has been participating in Tweet for Toys for years. Santa was there to help pack up hundreds of toys.
I want to see kids happy, and there's so many kids out there that will never see a toy in their life. I'm getting emotional again.
After a quick picture with Santa.
Yes! I've trained all year for this.
And a quick spin on one of the bikes.
You gotta stay right together with you.
Randy and Drew were on to the next stop.
Welcome to Acorn!
Another company that always surprises us with dozens and dozens of toys.
We used to do a department exchange, but then we decided, why not take the money, benefit the public.
Joining Tweet for Toys for the first time this year, Choice Dental Center.
We have a huge box of toys, so we're going to get some manpower here. And by the way, I have a toothache right here, Dennis. Can you fix
let
that
me
toothache?
see. Let me see. No, it's fine.
No, it's not.
And Randy was enjoying the snow flurries during their stop at the Indiana Department of Revenue.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. It's snowing, and it's snowing. It's great. Oh, some people. Oh, man.
They know you.
They know me.
He's got to go in for it.
Orman Accounting has been with Tweet for Toys from the start. And this family business of 3 people say, now that we've picked up this year's toys, they'll start collecting for next year.
Well, you just see so many little kids out there that has nothing. And, you know, we feel blessed. You know, the Lord's really blessed us in our business, and we try to give back.
One of the final stops of the day, Southport 6th Grade Academy, where students at the school collected toys to help other kids in need and spread a little Christmas cheer.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good time.
Oh, that's great. They sound a heck of a lot better than Randy does. If you missed today's Tweet for Toys collection, you can still drop off toys at any of our 4 sponsors through December 15th.
Coming up, an Indiana school district helping to cut its carbon footprint. How the solar fields are generating more than just electricity. That was funny.
You're watching Wish TV with news around the clock, online, on air, and on the go. Now, 24-hour News 8 at 5:30 continues.
A multi-million-dollar investment in solar panels is generating energy and money for the Delphi Community School Corporation.
Samantha Feek explains how this new program works.
I think it is an amazing opportunity for our kids. And I think it gives them something to be proud of, to be from Delphi, who has taken this opportunity to put us on the map and to save money and to make our environment better.
On November 21st, the Delphi Community School Corporation powered up its 2 solar panel fields. Now all buildings in the corporation are benefiting, but the power generated goes into a grid and not directly to the school.
Some days it generates more than what we use, so we get credit for that day. Some days it doesn't generate as much, and what we end up with is we'll utilize from our credits.
Superintendent Greg Briles presented the idea to the school board and got approval. Now, instead of the average $357,000 a year in energy costs, the school will only pay to lease panels for about $200,000 for the first 3 years. After that, payments increase to about $300,000 annually until the lease reaches its 20th year. Briles says the panels have a lifespan of about 30 to 35 years. Considering the cost of energy increases by 3% each year, Briles says the school corporation is set to save big time.
For 10 to 15 years, we will not be paying for our solar panels. They will be generating energy back into the money back to the school corporation.
Briles estimates about $100,000 will go back into the schools each year. That's something teacher Adele Marvin is excited to see happen.
Right now in the state of Indiana, all you hear about are how we have no money and we can't fund things and we can't do things. And I think it's amazing that Mr. Briles looked for a way to get more money into our school corporation, because all of our kids will benefit.
The new program also adds a new aspect to school curriculum. Through need.org, teachers can access new material to help students learn about the benefits of solar energy.
Strong winds and dry conditions are fueling the raging wildfires in Southern California. Some 110,000 people have been evacuated from their homes. Schools are closed in at least 15 districts, and thousands are without power. A state of emergency now in effect.
The city of Cleveland is under a federal investigation. That's right. The IRS spokesperson says federal investigators were at City Hall Wednesday after business hours. Authorities from the IRS, FBI, and U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development were present for, quote, authorized law enforcement activity. The IRS did not discuss details on the reason for the probe, saying the matter is under seal by a federal court. City leaders say they are cooperating.
FBI Director Christopher Wray testified today on Capitol Hill. It's a standard oversight appearance with the House Judiciary Committee, but it's taken on new significance since President Trump criticized the agency on Twitter last weekend. The president tweeted that the FBI's reputation was, quote, in tatters and the worst in history. And today, Wray responded.
Congressman, there is no shortage of opinions out there. What I can tell you is that the FBI that I see is tens of thousands of agents and analysts and staff working their tails off to keep Americans safe from the next terrorist attack, gang violence, child predators, spies from Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran.
Wray described the employees of the FBI as men and women of, quote, unyielding integrity. President Trump this afternoon signed a proclamation declaring Thursday to be National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. 6 veterans of the attack attended the ceremony. Today marks 76 years since the attack on Pearl Harbor. Several American ships were destroyed on that day. The USS Arizona still remains sunken, along with the remains of some of its crew members. More than 2,400 died in that attack. Nearly 1,200 more were hurt.
In Crime Watch 8 today, the coroner identified a man killed in a shooting Wednesday on Knox Street. The victim is 55-year-old Thomas Raymer. The shooting happened around 1 yesterday afternoon. Police found Raymer shot inside a home. Medics rushed him to a hospital where he died. In Columbus, police arrested 22-year-old Trey Smith. Police caught him after getting a report of a suspicious person. They found him lying on the ground next to a car in a parking lot. Police later saw the car's catalytic converter had been cut. They say Smith is facing a charge of attempted theft of car parts. Police also say Smith had 3 warrants out for his arrest.
On a much lighter note, just a reminder, we are collecting new unwrapped toys for the Wish Tree Toy Drive. The toys will be given to public safety workers to then be given out to kids for crisis situations. During those crisis situations, you can drop off donations now through December 15th at locations across central Indiana, including Grand Appliance, all Ed Martin dealerships, Roberts Camera, and IBEW. For more information, visit neighborhood8.com. All right, outside we go. Live look here on a frigid Thursday afternoon.
Makes you want to donate some toys, right?
Sure,
it's
why
Christmas
not?
out there already. Storm Track 8 meteorologist Brad Moushart joins us now with that most certified forecast in Indy. Brad.
Yeah, Brenna, Phil, it certainly feels like late December outside, but it's going to start to look like late December as well as we work our way back towards the weekend with our first real chance for some accumulating snowfall set to slide in by early Sunday. We've seen a few light snow showers here and there. Lake effect bands still up towards northern Indiana. Like I said, very, very cold outside. You do need the big coat. Not only is it just 27 degrees, but with that west wind to about 12 miles per hour, it feels like the upper teens now. With overnight lows expected around this number, you can bet it's going to be very, very frigid as you head out the door early Friday morning. Right now, lower teens, that's what it feels like in Muncie, back towards Kokomo. A little bit warmer here off to the southwest, 28 degrees down in Terre Haute, and again, still not anything shy of coat worthy. And through the rest of the evening, with just a few clouds here and there, those temperatures will fall off fast. Back to 20 degrees by midnight, and like I said, teens by early tomorrow morning, 16 in fact, as you head out the door here in Indianapolis. We'll warm back up a little bit by tomorrow afternoon. We'll see some mid-30s for your Friday, an uneventful Friday nonetheless, but by Saturday, that's when things really start to get wintry out there. I'll let you know how much snow we're expecting to see from our first real snowfall event, and well, we're going to see even more chances for some of that wintry weather in the full 8-day forecast coming up in about 10 minutes.
Brad, thank you. Also coming up, a former NFL quarterback and Hall of Famer accused of sexual harassment who filed a lawsuit against Warren Moon.
And check this out, a security guard dragged through a parking lot. Who he was trying to stop, coming up. Victims of gun violence sharing their stories today on Capitol Hill.
Yes, they're urging members of Congress to protect communities by strengthening gun laws. But as Bree Jackson reports, gun rights advocates say now is the time to expand gun rights.
With pictures in hand, family members shared their stories by showing lawmakers the faces of gun violence victims. Sharon Risher's mom and 2 relatives were killed at a church shooting in South Carolina.
Lives are being lost, and I want to be a part of the solution.
Gun control advocates say part of the solution is to create more common sense gun laws, which include improving background checks. In addition, victims of gun violence say legislation like the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act is a bad bill. They say allowing hidden weapons into communities puts lives in danger.
You allow for criminals who get concealed weapons permits without having to go through a background check to bring those weapons into every single one of our states. It doesn't make our country safer.
The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act is the first gun bill to pass the House since mass shootings in Texas and Nevada. Opponents have safety concerns, while supporters say passing this bill through Congress would be a significant step.
Our members have been asking for this for a number of years, and we have a White House where we have a pro-Second Amendment person in the White House.
NRA spokesperson Catherine Mortensen says passing bills like the Concealed Carry Act will not increase crime.
We have evidence that concealed carry permit holders are less likely to be involved in crime than even the average citizen.
Mortensen and supporters say protecting the rights of gun owners is a top priority. But families here say protecting others from gun violence is theirs. It's now up to the Senate to decide if the proposed gun laws move forward. In Washington, Bree Jackson.
Well, make sure to get the big coat out as you head out and hit the road tomorrow morning. Feels like temperatures, wind chill values going to be in the single digits in some spots, and it's all ahead of that next big chance for some snowfall on Saturday. We'll have more on that coming up.
And still ahead, it's time for a little warm-up in advance of the 102nd running of the Indy 500. The latest announcement on the month of May still ahead.
Call 24-Hour News 8 when you see breaking news. Our breaking news tip line is 24-8 News. That's 248-6397.
Welcome back, everyone. 60 years in prison for Larry Nassar. A judge handed down the sentence this afternoon to the former USA Gymnastics doctor. Nassar pleaded guilty to molesting 7 girls. He had claimed to be treating them for injuries. All but one of the girls were gymnasts. Nassar has pleaded guilty in 2 other cases of sexual assaults, one of which he will be sentenced for in January. And Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon is being sued for sexual harassment by a former employee. 32-year-old Wendy Haskell claims Moon made repeated sexual advances toward her, along with unusual requests like requiring her to sleep in his bed when they traveled for business. According to the lawsuit, Moon told Haskell that she would lose her job if she did not comply. Haskell says she was demoted by the firm in October after she complained about Moon's sexual advances. Moon has taken a leave of absence from his job as sports analyst for the Seattle Seahawks radio network.
The judge has set a January court hearing for the parents of a man accused of killing 4 people in Tampa, Florida. The parents appeared in court today to explain why they're not cooperating with the investigation. Prosecutors say Howell and Rosita Donaldson refused to answer questions during a meeting with investigators earlier this week. Last week, police arrested their son, Howell Donaldson III. The judge says the parents must show cause on why they shouldn't be held in contempt for refusing to answer investigators' questions. A security guard dragged, and it's all caught on surveillance video. You see it here. Take a look. The guard was trying to stop 3 women accused of shoplifting from a Lord & Taylor department store in New Jersey. The women got away in their rented SUV. The guard suffered a concussion.
GE announced it will cut 12,000 jobs. Those positions are in GE's electrical power division, which produces giant turbines and generators. This news comes weeks after GE said it would cut its stock dividend in half, only the second such cut since the Great Depression. GE is also looking to sell its light bulb and railroad units. The company's stock has lost 44% of its value this year. And remember that American Airlines holiday scheduling glitch? Well, that's going to cost the company about $10 million. That's according to a recent J.P. Morgan report. Last week, the Allied Pilots Association revealed that thousands of holiday flights were without pilots due to a scheduling error that gave too many employees time off this Christmas. Well, to fix it, American and the union negotiated a pay increase for pilots who offered to fly the unassigned flights. They say no flights will be canceled.
Well, that's good news. It appears mixed martial art great Ronda Rousey may be making a move from UFC to the WWE. 2 people close to Rousey say the former UFC title holder is finalizing a deal. If she signs a deal with the WWE, it's unclear whether Rousey would work as a full-time or part-time performer with the company. Rousey has not fought in UFC since losing last December. Well, the month of May is on the minds of some top organizers involved with the 102nd running of the Indy 500. St. Elmo Steakhouse hosting IndyCar's annual media dinner this evening. And a big announcement kicked things off. Our Wish TV driver analyst Graham Rahal is the choice as the honorary chair for REV. REV is the fundraiser party that supports IU Health Trauma Program statewide. It's set for May 5th of 2018 at IMS, and some of the tasty cuisine ready for the event was on display tonight at St. Elmo. Rahal is buckled in to be the lead car for this year's Tasty fundraiser.
Really to give back, to try to help support IU Health is important to us. I can't tell you guys, I cannot stress how lucky we as drivers feel that that we can rely on the doctors and the nurses and everybody that works at these facilities, hospitals, the care center, and the speedway, everything else. It literally makes our lives that just 100 times easier.
Well, good for him. It's hard to think about May right now when it's freezing outside.
It feels cold. A lot of folks woke up to flurries this morning. They've taken a back seat for the early evening, but maybe we'll see more.
Yeah, well, we could see a few more flurries late Friday night. I think tomorrow, for the most part, a pretty calm, uneventful day outside of just the cold. Make sure to bundle up as you head out the door. We're talking single-digit wind chills in some spots early tomorrow morning. Outside of that, really not a whole lot to worry about. This is what we saw outside today. Over at the Morris Reservoir, you can see a few flurries here and there early on. A lot of cloud cover. Those clouds have been breaking up, though, as we worked our way throughout throughout the day. You can see progressively more and more blue sky there with these mostly clear skies tonight. That's what's going to allow temperatures to fall off quickly as we work our way through the next several hours. Clouds tend to act like a blanket this time of the year, so without our blanket, all that heat that we saw today, and you say heat, about 26, 27 degrees this afternoon, that's going to escape into the atmosphere and cool things off even quicker, especially with this west wind. Right now it feels like just 17 degrees outside. And that's about where we're going to bottom out actual air temperature-wise tomorrow morning. Clearing skies, you can see here on the western horizon. Those are pushing their way on into central Indiana. Mostly clear skies, cold temperatures tonight, and just a few light snow showers up in northern Indiana. That's all we're dealing with right now. This is all lake effect here off Lake Michigan. You can see on the west side of the lake, not a whole lot going on. It's just the eastern half of the lake and portions of Michigan, northern Indiana seeing a little bit of light snowfall. Winter storm watch is in play. Now, this is not for what they're seeing now. This is associated with our storm system we're going to see this Saturday. We're going to see significantly less snowfall than what they're going to see up here towards South Bend. If you have to head that way, just be aware you're probably going to run into some delays up there because they might even see double digits in terms of inches of snowfall through the day Saturday. Here, at least for tonight, a very cold, calm night, clear skies, 16 degrees by early tomorrow morning. This is what it's going to feel like as you head out the door. 10 degrees here, single digits up to the north, so you will need the big coat and just the sunglasses. The rest of our afternoon actually looks pretty nice for the rest of our Friday. Just a mix of sun and clouds here and there. More cloud cover towards the later hours, and as I mentioned, maybe a flurry here or there just before midnight. The best chances for snowfall will come in through the early morning hours Saturday, last until about Saturday lunchtime, then fizzle back out. So you can see by 6 o'clock into 10 o'clock, not a whole lot going on Friday evening except for the increasing cloud cover. If you're headed to a high school basketball game, anything out there tomorrow, I think you're going to be in good shape, at least in most parts of the state, unless you're a little bit further north. So if you're staying out late, let's say up in Delaware County, stretching over towards Purdue and West Lafayette, maybe up towards Peru, those snow showers will be pushing their way in through the early overnight and then pushing our direction here in Indianapolis as we work our way a little bit closer to daybreak with just a few lingering light snow showers throughout the rest of the afternoon. And in that time span through the early morning hours to about lunchtime, most areas in and around Indianapolis right around the 1-inch mark. The further north you go, closer to 2 inches. And then once you get up towards Fort Wayne and, as I mentioned, up towards South Bend, that's just a little bit of an anomaly thanks to the lake. They're going to be seeing much more, about 2 to 4 and much more so up by South Bend. So that's just something we have to look forward to for Saturday. The rest of Saturday, outside of that, just cold. 34 degrees by Sunday. A few flurries, breezy outside, and another chance for some snowfall. We'll tail on that as we work our way back towards early next week. So Monday into Tuesday, and this is kind of a busy pattern we're going to get into as we work our way through the next couple of days. You can see just off and on snow shower activity Saturday, Monday into Wednesday, and temperatures all over the place. This is about as close as we're going to get to average throughout the work week, by the way. 38 degrees, that's as warm as we're going to get. Look at the end of next week. Even though things are just going to calm down a little bit weather-wise, it's still going to be downright cold. 16 degrees into next Friday morning with a high temperature of only 22 degrees.
All right, Brad, we'll take it. Coming up tonight, all new at 6 o'clock, IMPD is looking to make it safer to buy and sell things through online platforms like Facebook and Craigslist. Plus, a former First Lady and her daughters announced plans to speak at Purdue. Don't miss it. Welcome back. A massive study finds women who take birth control may be increasing their risk of breast cancer depending on how long they take it. The researchers saw a 9% increase in breast cancer risk among women taking hormonal contraceptives for under a year. That's rising to 38% if it was for more than 10 years. It's widely believed that modern hormonal birth control methods are safer than the older ones, but this study indicates that that may not be the case. This study is in the New England Journal of Medicine. And with the flurries today, you may be worried about dry skin.
Of course. I was just talking about that before.
Just talking about
right, before the show.
It's a thing.
Kim Hutcherson has some tips.
Cold, dry winter air can be rough on anyone's skin, especially those who suffer from psoriasis, a skin disorder in which the body's own immune system becomes overactive and attacks normal tissues. Cold air has an extraordinarily low moisture content, which can steal moisture from the skin. So be sure and protect yourself this winter by covering up when you go outdoors. Layer up and use moisturizers before you go outside. Indoors, cut down on those long, hot showers. Experts say they strip natural oils from the skin. Also, use a thick, fragrance-free body cream after showering, and make sure you're using the right soap. Switch to a moisturizing soap and ditch the scented body wash to avoid itchy winter skin. And a reminder, just because it's winter and less daylight doesn't mean you shouldn't be using sunscreen. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
We need that sunscreen tomorrow. Nothing but sunshine in the forecast, and what otherwise is just a frigid, uneventful Friday. High temperatures only in the mid-30s. Saturday, that's when snow returns. I'll let you know how much we could see coming up.
Our not athletic director, dean of students, told us that we needed to go into lockdown. It wasn't a drill.
3 people are dead after a shooting at a New Mexico high school.
There is a big part of me that will always regret having to walk away from this job with so much work left to be done. But I have faith that the work will continue.
And Minnesota Senator Al Franken says he will resign after multiple women accuse him of groping them.
Okay.
Now, live From Wish TV, this is 24-hour News 8 at 6 o'clock.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. We saw a few snow flurries this morning. They didn't really stick, though. We may have that coming on the way.
Yes. Here to tell us more is storm tracking meteorologist Brad Mouser. Brad, what's going on?
Well, tonight, snow showers that we saw earlier pushing their way on out off to the east. We're starting to clear back out here. And as we clear out, temperatures are going to drop very quickly tonight. That's the thing we have to worry about by early tomorrow morning. Some spots going to see some wind chill values in the single digits, thanks to this little bit of a breeze we're holding on to right now. 7-mile-per-hour winds up in Kokomo. 10-mile-per-hour winds in Indianapolis, making our current temperatures in the mid-20s feel a lot colder than that. It feels like just 14 degrees outside already. We still have some cooling to go. In fact, by early tomorrow morning, some spots, without the wind chill even factored in, going to be nearing the lower teens. So again, very cold night on the way. 24 degrees in Indianapolis, 22 already in Kokomo with a wind chill value of 13 degrees. So as we work way through the rest of the evening hours tonight, we're going to keep on dropping all the way back to 23 by 9 o'clock, 21 by 11, and by early tomorrow morning, 16 degrees. That's what you have to look forward to as you head back to work or school tomorrow. Good news is we'll rebound a little bit by tomorrow afternoon, but our nice weather is not going to last for long. Saturday is when we'll see the next chance and our best chance so far this season for some accumulating snowfall coming up. We'll time that out for you. I'll let you know when the snow arrives, how much snow we're going to see, and keep you up to date on even more snow chances in the full 8-day forecast. That's all coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Just full of good news. So clearly, winter is here. Is your car ready?
That's a good question. Hoosiers are bringing their car to the shop to prepare for snow and cold ahead. 24-hour News 8's Tim McNicholas spoke with some local mechanics today. Tim, we hear these folks are already busy.
Yeah, one downtown mechanic tells me his shop is putting winter tires on about 6 or 7 cars per day. I'm looking at Meridian Street right now. I can tell you none of that snow that fell earlier is stuck. Mother Nature's been pretty good to Indiana throughout the fall, but meteorologists say you shouldn't get used to that. Andrew Trefny of All-Star Tire and Auto Services says his team put winter tires on 3 cars by 1 p.m. today. AAA recommends all drivers prepare for winter by checking tires, battery, oil, coolant, lights, and wipers. Brad Mouser actually tells me Indiana typically gets about 22 inches of snow every winter. He's expecting that and maybe more. Trefny also replaced the coolant on a truck today to prevent freezing on the radiator.
As long as you get your car maintained, that's going to be the best thing you can do, and your car's going to last 3 times, 4 times as long.
An active one where we see a lot of storm systems, but it just depends on where those storm systems, the cold air, are at the same time. And timing is going to be playing a big part this winter.
So AAA says they say you should also keep an emergency kit in your car with warm clothes, water, a flashlight in case you do break down. I can tell you it would not be a good situation today if your car broke down. You're walking around in this weather. It's getting chilly out here. Some shops also sell de-icers in case your car handle gets frozen when we get into those months where it'll be especially cold and have some of the snow and sleet in town. For now, live just outside our studios, I'm Tim McNicholas, 24-hour News 8.
Tim, thank you. 2 students and a gunman are dead after a school shooting in New Mexico. Police say it happened at Aztec High School in San Juan County. Investigators say others were injured. The San Juan County operations manager identified the gunman as a student but did not release a name. Aztec is a small town in northwest New Mexico about 3 hours from Albuquerque.
And my teacher locked all the doors and put us in the corner in the dark. I didn't know what was going on, and so everyone just sat there really, really scared. And then my teacher finally told us that she got news that there was an active shooter. And so we were all in the corner really scared, and we could just hear shots and the helicopter coming.
After the initial report, police cleared the building, searched the school, and then asked parents to pick up their kids at the police department. A protective lockdown has now been lifted. Officials say there's no longer a threat to the community.
Scary stuff. All right, today, Senator Al Franken announcing that he will resign from the U.S. Senate amid accusations of sexual misconduct.
Washington correspondent Jessica Smith has more on the efforts to prevent harassment in Congress and workplaces across the country.
I will be resigning.
Sexual harassment is once again consuming Capitol Hill. On Thursday, Minnesota Senator Al Franken announced he will step down after several women accused him of groping and forcibly kissing them.
All women deserve to be heard and their experiences taken seriously.
As Franken spoke, a House committee held its second hearing aimed at overhauling the way sexual harassment complaints are handled in Congress.
I think we are at a watershed moment.
While most of the recent allegations have focused on politics, Hollywood, and the media, Congresswoman Sherry Bustos says the problem goes much further than that.
There's not one place I've worked, nor do I know any women who have worked in all different sorts of industry who haven't seen rampant sexual harassment. Ending forced arbitration.
This week, Bustos introduced a bill that would give employees the right to take their sexual harassment cases to court instead of being forced into private arbitration by their employer.
For any businesses that's doing things right, they don't have anything to fear. But if there are serial sexual harassers there, then they've got something to worry about.
Bustos says she's been working on this bill since March, but up until recently, she's struggled to get Republican lawmakers on board. She tells me she hopes this will be a real moment of change.
I think it's a real wake-up call that all of a sudden something that was very, very difficult to get the other side of the aisle behind, now we have co-sponsors who are Republicans.
The bill now has bipartisan support in both the House and Senate. In Washington, I'm Jessica Smith.
Those sexual misconduct allegations are now sweeping the nation, and Indiana's top official also reacting.
State House Bureau Chief David Williams sat down with Governor Eric Holcomb today. David, what did you learn?
Well, we had an open and honest, true discussion. I asked him about the sexual harassment cases and allegations sweeping the country, the nation, and Indiana. I asked him how he feels about that as well. He had an honest reaction to my question.
So disappointing, and you wonder where it'll end. It goes from almost profession to profession, and you know, if there's anything that I'm gratified by, it is I think people are now finding the strength to speak up and to speak out and seek justice.
To the women who have come forward as victims of sexual assault, the governor said, quote, justice needs to prevail, and it's heartbreaking to know what they have endured and gone through and carried for so long. He said to those victims, quote, there are better days ahead, end quote, and he's glad their voice is being heard right now. David Williams, 24-Hour News 8.
David, thank you. In Crime Watch 8 tonight, Larry Nassar will spend at least the next 60 years in federal prison.
A judge sentencing the doctor for child porn crimes. This is just one of 3 criminal cases against the Michigan sports doctor accused of sexually assaulting female athletes while working for USA Gymnastics. Investigators say they found more than 37,000 images of child porn on Nassar's computers in 2016. Nassar will be sentenced on the molestation charges next month.
Happening now, the Plainfield Board of Police Commissioners is meeting. On tonight's agenda, the commissioners are discussing an incident during a training session last month. As our IT mate reported, Plainfield Captain Kerry Weber is on paid administrative leave after telling another officer he had white male privilege. Another officer involved in the outburst was also suspended. The board is investigating this incident and will be reviewing Captain Weber's disciplinary history over the past 6 months as well. Our Stephanie Zeppelin is at the meeting. She'll have a full report coming up tonight at 10 and 11.
In other news right now, we now know the name of a man killed in a shooting Wednesday afternoon here in Indianapolis. It happened on Knox Street near Troy and Shelby. Police say they found 55-year-old Thomas Raymer shot inside his home. Medics rushed him to the hospital where he later died. Police have not released more information about a motive or a suspect, but are investigating the shooting as a homicide. IMPD working to make it safer for people to buy and sell things online. The department has set up a designated e-commerce exchange zone at each of its district headquarters and encourages people to use the front parking lots to make their sales. IMPD says it hopes to reduce scams and other crimes that happen when people buy and sell things through online classifieds by providing a safe place to conduct business. The department says it is not reacting to any one specific incident. IMPD also invites people to use their lobbies when open.
New tonight, former First Lady Laura Bush is set to speak at Purdue University next fall. She'll be joined by her daughters, Jenna Bush Hager and Barbara Pierce Bush. The event, Women in the White House and Beyond, will take place on October 18th of next year. It's part of the Sears Lecture Series. Tickets will become available during the 2018 fall semester.
Cannot have too many Nerf hoops. If I learned anything in my childhood, it's you can't have too many Nerf hoops.
Making the Christmas season a happy one for children in need. That was the goal of this year's Tweet for Toys. We'll show you more from today's toy collections next. Welcome back, everyone. New tonight, a record number of families are visiting food pantries here in central Indiana.
Yeah, Gleaners Food Bank, which provides food for many pantries, has seen a sharp increase, they say. Our Elizabeth Choi joining us now. Elizabeth, Gleaners met with other agencies just yesterday.
Phil, they sure did. They met with pantry partners, and they tell me that every single pantry that they've met with has seen an increase this year. The holiday season is always busier. Gleaners saw a more than 30% increase over the past 3 weeks. But it's not just holidays, and the people in need may surprise you. A food pantry isn't where David Ferguson envisioned his retirement from Cummins would lead him.
I don't make a lot of money, I think. I need help with food.
Shane Phillips and his wife both work full-time, but with 6 kids, it's not enough.
My wife goes through a lot of medical problems. She's had surgeries, life and death surgeries.
Their stories are vastly different, but the outcome is the same.
We come here to try to get the help that we can so we can at least eat.
They're not alone. According to Interchurch Food Pantry of Johnson County manager Carol Phipps, they've served more people in 2017 than any other year. They've been around 33.
People can shop twice per month, which is more often than most pantries, and we serve more families.
Phipps says they've seen almost 20% more families this year compared to last. And the week of Thanksgiving, they averaged more than 100 families a day, compared to 80 to 90 a day. This all despite a declining unemployment rate, which is at 3% in Johnson County and 4.1% nationally.
There are many families out there that are not benefiting from that.
Retired people, for example, who are on a fixed income. Phipps says she's seen a steady flow of senior citizens.
We're seeing some generational poverty that's having a hard time benefiting from the increases.
Phipps says they've also seen a number of people with 2 jobs, but their income still falls short.
That's a phenomena that we're seeing, people that are really trying to make ends meet and they can't.
Interchange Church Pantry is always looking for help. They need volunteers at both their warehouse and food pantry. We'll have information on our website, which is wishtv.com, on how you at home can volunteer. Live in the newsroom, Elizabeth Choi, 24-hour News 8.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you very much. Our annual Tweet for Toys was a success again this year, thanks to many businesses across central Indiana.
Yeah, they helped us collect thousands of toys, which will be given to the Indy Public Safety Foundation. Now, at 5 o'clock, we showed you Randy Ollis and Drew Blair's rather musical journey to pick up toys.
Right, but we had another team also out. Scott Sander, Lauren Lowry visited more businesses that were full of Christmas cheer.
Good morning.
Good morning. The first stop of the day, IBEW Local 481, just down the street from Wish TV. They were a sponsor once again this year and had a lot of toys under their tree.
It's just the right thing to do for the kids out there in the community. You know, just like the Circle of Lights that we do every year, that's our gift to the community. So we just like to give back, and our members are very generous.
These guys put together so many toys. Tell us about what you got here.
This time we go all out.
Jimmy's Nail Spa has been collecting for Tweet for Toys every year since it started. Employees there say they're happy their small company can play such a big part in helping kids this Christmas.
Look at this. Oh my goodness.
Barkeeper's Friend on the city's northwest side is another longtime supporter.
We love giving back to the community. Servas was generous enough to donate some cash, so I got to go shopping for toys. I don't generally get to do that too much anymore.
So this is the bright and shiny new steel building for Grand Appliance.
New to the Indianapolis community and new to Tweet for Toys, Grand Appliance signing up to be a sponsor for this year's event.
Now that we're here, we really wanted to take any opportunity we could to get involved with the community, and what better way than to help out with the kids.
Harding Group also joining Tweet for Toys for the first time this year.
We just saw it on Twitter, actually, and we thought this would be a great thing for everyone to come and participate, because we love doing things with the community and things like that, so we're like, why not this year?
Wait, hold on, Scott. Do you think we could pick up one of these for Christmas?
No, it won't fit in the cardboard box. It's an NSX.
The car stayed at Ed Martin Acura, but Scott and Lauren left with more donations for the Indy Public Safety Foundation.
Bringing in all the toys for the kids. You know, I really encourage people to get out today, stock up the boxes, so that we can help these kids enjoy a great season.
Well, if you missed today's Tweet for Toys collection, but you or your company has toys that you would like to donate, you can still drop them off through December 15th. Our 4 sponsors at Martin Grand Appliance, Roberts Camera, IBEW Local 481 will have Wish Tree boxes. Until then, all the toys collected will be given to the Indy Public Safety Foundation to help kids in need.
You know, those daybreak teams are telling us that the snow falling a little bit this morning and afternoon really made it more festive. Actually felt like Christmas, which is, you know, a good thing and a bad thing, depending on how many coats you have in your closet.
Exactly.
And more is to come, apparently,
yeah,
right?
it's going to feel even more festive, about tenfold as we work way into the weekend. We're going to see a good chance for our first accumulating snow of the season by Saturday, which is actually good timing because it's not going to be a morning commute issue. As long as you just sleep it in and you stay inside all day Saturday, you're going to be in good shape. Might even just sleep in tomorrow because it's going to be cold outside. Look at us. We're already down to 24 degrees down in Bloomington across the School of Business down there. A busy night nonetheless. Still a lot of people out and about this evening down in Monroe County. Gorgeous there. Just clear skies. Same deal up here at the University of Indianapolis here on the south side of town. Mostly clear skies. Just a few clouds here and there and temperatures also in the mid-20s. And that's where we sit right now here in Indianapolis. 24 degrees. You can see a lot of traffic out on the circle, but with a little bit of a breeze outside. Bundle up because it feels about 10 degrees colder than it actually is out there. So it's going to feel almost like the single digits in some spots in northern Indiana tomorrow as these skies continue to clear back out. Up to the north, we still have a few lake effect snow showers just through the northern fringes of the state from Fort Wayne back up here towards the state line. We're going to see much more snowfall as we start to work our way into Saturday. That's why they put out a winter storm watch for a few of the northernmost counties, LaPorte, St. Joseph counties, including South Bend. That runs through Saturday at 11 p.m. They're talking double digits of snowfall. We are not going to see that much snow, but we could see enough just to cover the ground just a little bit thanks to our next weather maker here, which is going to slide our way as early as Saturday morning. So if you're out late Friday night, you might see a few flurries here and there, but overall shouldn't have too many problems until we get to about daybreak Saturday here in Indianapolis. So let's talk the near term first. Over the next several hours, we do have to get past a very frigid Friday. We're bottoming out at 16 degrees. As I mentioned, with a little bit of a breeze tomorrow morning, it's going to feel even colder than that. We're talking single digits up north from Muncie over towards Lafayette. So if you do have to head out to classes early tomorrow morning, be it Purdue, Ball State, bundle up, and we're not going to warm up much more than that. With a green light for the forecast, high temperatures will eventually get back just above the freezing point, at least for a few hours tomorrow afternoon. So slightly warmer than today, but here we go again. By early Saturday morning, that's when that snow will start to slide its way back in. You can still see by 10 o'clock Friday, most of our area not seeing anything out there, but the later we get into Friday night and early Saturday morning, here come the snow showers. Those will be in northern Indiana by 2, 3 o'clock and by daybreak here in Indianapolis. I think the further south you go, the lesser snowfall we're going to see. Things start to wrap back up by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. And here in Indianapolis, I think we're right around the 1-inch mark. Now, the system could overproduce at least in a few streaks where some of those snow squalls start to line back up. So don't be surprised if you're in the 465 loop here if you see more than 2 inches of snowfall, but it's going to be very isolated. So still right around 1 to 2 inches. The further north you get and the closer you get to South Bend, that's where we're really going to see that snow piling up. Now, it's going to remain very cold up into the next couple days. We'll see a brief warm up as we work our way back towards Monday. You can see we're just on the fringe of the warmer air, but as quickly as it moves in, it's going to move out just as quickly, and then we're back to very cold as we work our way throughout the rest of this forecast. In fact, about 38 degrees is as warm as we're going to get, and that's for Monday. That's when we start to see our next chance for snowfall come in. So about 1 to 2 inches here in central Indiana for the day Saturday. Things wrap back up, just a few flurries in the forecast for Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-30s. 38 degrees Monday, just ahead of that snow chance. That'll last into early Tuesday, and then behind it, temperatures drop back into the upper 20s. Another brief warm-up for Wednesday, ahead of another chance for snowfall. So you can see this pattern that we're in, off and on snowfall chances. Very minimal, at least for all these. 37 degrees for Wednesday, 26 for Thursday, and 22 the high temperature next Friday.
All right, thank you, Brad. With nothing to lose and an interesting forecast on tap for Sunday in Buffalo, the Colts agree. Bring on the cold and let it snow. The latest on what is likely a wacky road trip this weekend is next.
Welcome back. 2 new movies opening to theaters this weekend.
But can they take on the current box office champ Coco? David Daniel has more.
You moved to Philippines just to piss me off. No, that was just a happy byproduct. You and I, just getting started.
Oscar winners Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones vie to rule their senior community in the weekend's only new wide release, Just Getting Started. The action comedy won't start on top. Box office trackers are forecasting a $5 million debut, far below what box office champ Coco figures to make this weekend.
It's town, Greg. They don't want me.
Wish we could just make our own movie.
A great idea.
With no other new competition, The Disaster Artist expands from limited to moderate release this weekend, about 800 locations, and figures to rise into the top 10, also grossing about $5 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, looks good. Well, anyway, in Colts Watch, it's time to bundle up. Well, we know it's already time to bundle up, but we've got to bear down for Week 14. Our visit to Buffalo.
Yep, with the AFC South title hopes already done for, the Colts are playing for pride this weekend. Charlie Clifford joining us now. Charlie, we hear the weather might play a factor here.
Oh, just splendid. 30 degrees, snow, 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Beautiful day in Buffalo.
Should be great for this offense that just can score in any conditions. Yeah, no, that hasn't.
Not sure how to prepare for that. No.
Hasn't been the case lately. Evening, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Colts quarterback Jacoby Brissett is set to face the true upstate New York elements for the first time in his NFL career. Brissett's yet to play in freezing temperatures or the snow as a quarterback in the league. It appears both are likely on Sunday in Buffalo, but not all the Colts are balking at this forecast.
It shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully it don't snow, but I don't mind playing the cold games. I'm from Detroit, so that ain't a problem.
I prefer snow over rain myself. You know, rather the snow flurries come than the wet, cold rain. You know, so but either way it goes, you know, you get out there. You know, any environment's football environment. You know, any weather's football weather. So when you get out there, you know, you just do what you've been doing since you were a kid. You know, just play football, try to execute, you know, do your job and do it for the man next to you.
Absolutely, Snow Angels. Hopefully a couple sacks of Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor. We got to talk about him coming up tonight at 6:50. Plus the Pacers. Are you on board yet? Did you see what Victor Oladipo did last night? Plus the big one that comes in tomorrow night, the King invading Banker's Life. And finally, a little Indy 500 warm-up. Big announcement today at St. Elmo. We will fill you in after the break. For now, it's time for a short
You're watching Wish TV with news around the clock, online, on air, and on the go. Now, 24-hour News 8 at 6:30 continues.
Thank you for staying with us here at 6:30. Officials in Southern California are struggling to contain a series of massive wildfires that threaten to destroy even more homes and buildings over the next several days.
Omar Jimenez has the latest from California.
Strong winds and dry conditions are fueling the raging wildfires in Southern California on Thursday as officials continue to battle the wide-ranging inferno. Some 110,000 people have been evacuated from their homes. Schools are closed in at least 15 districts, and thousands are without power. Low humidity and strong gusts keeping firefighters on edge as they hope to contain what's been a difficult series of fires.
The topography of this is very steep, hard to get members in there and actually get hose lines deployed in there, and also our hand crews.
More evacuations are underway in the Ojai Valley. In Ventura County, the Thomas Fire now spans about 150 square miles. A state of emergency is underway. Officials urge caution, even when the threat of the fires start to fade.
We still ask that folks stay away from their homes. We're not completely out of the woods yet. We hope to be able to let people back in as soon as possible.
For residents in the affected areas, the devastation of their homes, coupled with neighbors gone in a flash, almost too much to bear.
I'm numb. I don't know. We'll get through it. It was a very quaint, cozy neighborhood, and the house was just wonderful. I don't know what's going to happen.
In Southern California, I'm Omar Jimenez.
New tonight, the Indiana State Teachers Association making their wish list for next year's legislative session. It covers everything from mental health services in schools to lowering the age kids have to be to start school. I met with the ISTA president today for a full rundown. In the shadow of the Indiana State Legislature, Teresa Meredith is asking for change.
We believe that educators are the ones who ought to be offering the solutions, and so we are.
The Indiana State Teachers Association wants lawmakers to put
our kids, our schools, and our future
first and foremost. Here's part of their wish list. Restore the $9.3 million deficit in public education. Hold online and voucher accepting schools more accountable for their public dollars. Improve the fairness or create another evaluation method for teacher licensing. And as a kindergarten teacher herself, Meredith wants to make kindergarten mandatory.
We have around 7,000 children in Indiana who don't show up for kindergarten each year. They should, and they're eligible, but they don't. So when those children do show up in school, their experience is different than their peers. They're behind from the get-go.
ISTA is also hoping to provide mental health counseling for children who have experienced any kind of trauma.
You know, you typically think of things like child abuse and neglect, but we're also looking at things like students who've had parents who have been repeatedly deployed, and they're facing a lot of challenges with that, and that's a kind of trauma, but also the opioid crisis that Indiana is experiencing right now.
And as for the computer science classes, the State Chamber of Commerce wants to require for graduation.
Depending on the kind of computer science class and how you want it supported, I think there's still a question. I don't know that it needs to be a requirement for graduation, though.
Now, those are just a handful of the ISTA's published 16 priorities for 2018. You can read their entire agenda online right now at wishtv.com. Phil?
All right, we'll take a turn now to the weather. It finally feels like winter with bitter cold temperatures and snow flurries. Storm Track meteorologist Brad Moushart says more is on the way, Brad.
Yeah, it definitely feels like winter outside by this weekend. It's going to start to look like winter, too, with more snow chances in the forecast for Saturday. Right now, clearing skies after the few flurries we saw outside. With the clearing skies, temperatures are dropping quickly, especially with this little bit of a breeze outside. Not only are the temperatures dropping quickly, but it feels just miserable outside. 24 degrees out there right now with the west wind. Feels like 14. And with overnight lows similar to this number, you can bet some spots it's going to feel like the single digits early tomorrow morning. In fact, we're pretty close to that already up in Delaware County as well as Howard County. Feels like temperatures there at 13 degrees apiece. A little bit warmer here off of the south, but most spots tonight will end up dropping down very quickly all the way into the mid-teens. So some of the coolest air we've seen so far this season, and this is all going to be just ahead of some of the first accumulating snowfall this season. Luckily, that's going to hold off through the day tomorrow. Pretty uneventful day outside of the cold start. 16 degrees, a little breezy outside by tomorrow afternoon. That'll help to warm us up into the mid-30s, so we will rebound nicely tomorrow afternoon. afternoon. But like I said, that rebound is just ahead of that next chance for some wintry weather. Coming up, I'll let you know how much snow we're expecting to see and when that's going to be pushing its way back in, and let you know when we'll see even more chances for some wintry weather in the full late-day forecast. It's going to be a busy one. We'll have details in less than 10 minutes.
Well, take it, Brad. Thank you. New tonight, FBI Director Christopher Wray on Capitol Hill today testifying before the House Judiciary Committee.
So this comes less than a week after President Donald Trump tweeted that the FBI is in, quote, tatters. And Warnicki explains how lawmakers grilled Wray about the Bureau's independence and if he can get the job done without pressure from the White House.
Do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give shall be
FBI Director Christopher Wray told lawmakers his loyalty is to the people, not the president.
Has President Trump ever asked you to sidestep the chain of command and report directly to him?
No.
Lawmakers grilled Wray about a tweet President Trump posted earlier this week, saying the FBI's reputation is in tatters, worst in history, but fear not, we will bring it back to greatness.
Do you believe that the FBI's reputation is in tatters?
My experience has been that our reputation is quite good.
But lawmakers like New York Congressman Gerald Nadler told Wray his response to the tweet was not enough, telling the FBI director it's his job to stand up to the president.
And when he tells you that you need to, quote, clean house, that your agents are, quote, phony and dishonest, and that your, quote, reputation or the reputation of the Bureau is in tatters, and, quote, the worst in history, you should do more than send a private email to your employees.
Wray was also asked about the FBI's involvement in the Mueller investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election.
I wouldn't confirm or suggest the existence of any ongoing investigation.
Wray didn't go into detail about the investigation, but says Robert Mueller has a good relationship with the FBI. He says right now the FBI is focused on making sure no foreign agents interfere in upcoming U.S. elections.
We're acutely focused on looking out for signs of interference in the 2018 or 2020 election cycle.
In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
Meanwhile, President Trump signing a proclamation declaring Thursday to be National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. 6 veterans who survived the attack attended a ceremony. Today marks 76 years since the attack on Pearl Harbor. Several American ships were destroyed on that day. The USS Arizona still remains sunken, along with the remains of some of its crew members. More than 2,400 people died in the attack. Nearly 1,200 more were hurt.
We could be heading for a government shutdown if Democrats and Republicans cannot reach an agreement on a budget. Coming up, we'll find out which major issue is holding up approval.
American Airlines pilot scheduling glitch is going to end up costing the company big time. How they plan to fix the problem just ahead.
Welcome back. The White House is warning a government shutdown could be in store this month if a 2018 budget is not passed. But Democratic House Leader Nancy Pelosi says if the president wants a budget passed, he'll need to compromise and allow 700,000 undocumented immigrants or dreamers to stay in the U.S. Many Democrats say they want to see DACA taken care of by the end of the year because otherwise some dreamers could face deportation by March. White House spokesperson Raj Shah says President Trump doesn't want immigration reform mixed in with the federal budget.
To try to, at the 11th hour on a bill to keep the government funded, try to stick something like immigration legislation onto it is irresponsible.
The White House says it expects budget negotiations to continue for the next 2 weeks.
GE announcing plans to cut 12,000 jobs at the company's electrical power division. That's where they produce giant turbines and generators. The news comes weeks after GE said it would cut its stock dividends in half. GE also looking to sell its light bulb and railroad units. The company's stock has lost 44% of its value this year, and the new CEO is looking to cut costs and turn things around. That American Airlines scheduling glitch will cost the company about $10 million. That's according to a recent J.P. Morgan report. Last week, the Allied Pilots Association revealed that thousands of holiday flights were without pilots due to a scheduling snafu that gave too many employees time off around Christmas. To fix it, American and the union negotiated a pay increase for pilots who offered to fly the unassigned flights. They say no flights will be canceled.
Starbucks has released a new holiday-themed Frappuccino. Coming up, we'll tell you what's inside. Trending tonight, medical professionals on opposite ends of the country pulled off medical marvels.
One was for an injured dog, the other an injured elf. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at this.
An injured dog is on the mend in California thanks to UC Davis doctors and a very special 3D printed mask. Loka had been attacked by another dog and suffered severe trauma to her skull. While medical staff treated the Staffordshire Bull Terrier's injuries, students printed an exoskeleton mask based on a CT scan of her head. The mask's concept was in development over years at the hospital, It was a joint effort between oral surgeons and biomedical engineering staff. Loka was the first patient to try out the mask, which, much like a cast, stabilized the injury. Months after the surgery, UC Davis doctors say Loka is doing well. And across the country, Orlando ER doctors came to the rescue of a severely wounded elf on the shelf. 7-year-old Aubrey Thielen woke up to a horrific scene. Her dog Zoe had attacked her elf on the shelf, Sam. Thankfully, her mom is a nurse manager at Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children, so Sam was quickly brought into a trauma bay for surgery. Since elf rules state that Sam cannot be touched, the team secured a pair of special operating gloves directly from Santa Claus. In the end, Sam was all patched up and was even treated with magic medical glitter. Sam is now back on Aubrey's shelf and out of Zoe's reach. That's what I call excellent elf care coverage. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, if that's not enough animal loving for you, take a look at this. The Chick-fil-A cows want to put you in the Christmas spirit at one of its Florida locations. Check this out. This is the Christmas display at the Chick-fil-A in Tampa. The location went all out to decorate its parking lot for the holidays. Pretty impressive, and it's Florida too, right? So they must have done it in really great weather. Now, it includes a cow carousel featuring the chain's mascots, of course, and the lights display officially opened last month. I bet it's doing pretty good for business as well.
Yeah, that's the biggest Chick-fil-A I've ever seen.
It's in Tampa, so there you go.
I love Chick-fil-A. I also love Starbucks, too. They're now offering its new Christmas tree Frappuccino for a very limited time. It's available through Monday at participating locations in the U.S. and Canada. The drink is a peppermint mocha cream Frappuccino topped with green whipped cream to make it look like a Christmas tree, and caramel drizzle representing a garland, and cranberries made to look like ornaments, then topped with a strawberry.
Not star sprinkles? That would, right?
That would work,
no?
too.
Still sounds
Does that entice you? Is that something you would buy at Starbucks?
It's got to have a star if it's a Christmas tree,
True.
right?
Nice one on top.
Yes.
Right?
Maybe like a little cookie.
I'll submit that to Starbucks and see if we can make that happen.
It looks better than the zombie one they had for Halloween. It looks better than the unicorn one they had during the summer.
Hey, those went viral.
They went viral.
Yeah.
That's the point. So, I mean, they're making a good deal in the marketing, but I don't know how good they are.
You can tell that it's dinner time and we're all hungry.
Talking food.
Starbucks run.
We don't want to talk about how cold it is outside. Let's just talk about dinner.
I don't think it's like really Frappuccino season with how cold it's going to be either out there. We're going to see temperatures.
Slushy.
Yeah, a little slushy this weekend. You're going to have your own Frappuccinos outside in the front yards. Hopefully you got the lawn decorations up last weekend, this weekend, and the rest of the forecast. Looking a little messy out there to get some of those lights up. Over at the University of Indianapolis today, a few flurries early on, a lot of cloud cover early on as well, but you can see as we work way through the rest of the afternoon, these skies really open back up. The problem with this is, with the clear skies that we're going to see out there tonight, we've lost our blanket. Clouds hold in some of the daytime heat, so without them, that heat goes away pretty quickly, and right now we're already down to 24 degrees, and it feels even cooler than that thanks to a little bit of a west wind. Only like 14 degrees right now, so make sure to bundle up if you're headed out late tonight or early tomorrow morning. The rest of our Friday, outside of the very cold start, not a whole lot to worry about for Friday. Up north, we're still dealing with some isolated snow showers, lake effect bands back here from Fort Wayne stretching to South Bend. South Bend going to be the big winner, in this case maybe loser this weekend, with the winter weather watch, or winter storm watch rather, already in play. They're expecting upwards of 8 to 10 inches of snowfall or more up that way, thanks to lake effect bands setting up, and can't really rule out a couple inches back here in our northwesternmost communities either, as that snow starts to slide our direction early Saturday. More on that coming up in just a minute. Let's talk about tonight, because it will be very cold outside tomorrow morning. Not only will we bottom out in the mid-teens for the first time this season, with that little bit of a breeze that we do have, it's going to feel like the single digits at times up here in northern Indiana as you head out the door. So you will need the big coat, a couple pairs of socks, and of course the sunglasses. These temperatures will warm up a little bit tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. More sunshine early on. The later we get in the day, the more cloud cover we're going to see. And this increasing cloud cover is all ahead of that next best chance for some snowfall. And that will dive in early Saturday. So our Friday overall as a whole looks pretty nice until late Friday night. Even at 10 o'clock, most of us still snow-free, but here come the snow showers. By midnight to 1 o'clock, northern Indiana, so we'll start to see the snow pushing in. Kokomo, Lafayette, Peru, by about 2 to 3 o'clock, and a little bit closer to daybreak here in Indy. The further north you go, the more snowfall we are going to see from the system as things taper back off and wrap up late Saturday evening. Here in Indianapolis, I think we're going to be close to that 1-inch mark. A little bit closer to 2 inches the further north you get from town, up until about Blackford, Jay County or so, and then north of that 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. Anything further south of town, I think you're more of a dusting in most spots. But some isolated spots really cannot rule out a couple more inches as well if one of those lake effect bands sets up. So in northern Indiana, just be aware of that into early Saturday. Otherwise, 33 degrees, 34 for Sunday, a few lingering flurries, but that's not our last chance of snowfall. Like I said, it will be a very busy forecast. Things ramp back up late Monday into Tuesday. That's not it either. We have another chance for snow by Wednesday. Now, a little bit too far out to see the totals on these, but right now, the early look ahead for Saturday, again, 1 to 2 inches there. A little bit more the further north you go. Things taper off Sunday. Our closest we're going to get to average in terms of temperatures, 38 degrees. That's as warm as we're going to get throughout the entire forecast. A mixed batch after that, 28 degrees Tuesday, 37 again Wednesday, back into the 20s again, though, as things clear back out after that next chance of snowfall by the end of next week.
Sounds great, Brad. Thank you.
Charlie Clifford joining us once again with look what's coming up in sports today.
Yeah, we got to talk Colts more on this trip to Buffalo. And did you catch the Pacer game last night?
Yes. How could you miss it?
This team, I tell you, they aren't giving hoops, and there are just some fantastic finishes. Victor Oladipo, he an all-star. We're going to talk more about Vic coming up after the break.
We had a little event today.
Evening, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. The Colts defense is preparing to see Bills starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor on Sunday. Taylor's dealing with a knee issue, but he returned to practice today. If he can go, that's trouble for this defense. The Colts are set to send a young secondary to Buffalo with the absence of Rashawn Melvin and Pierre Desir. Quincy Wilson and Kenny Moore II are expected to be your starters at cornerback. The run defense really not an issue. Great over the last 5 games, but this secondary, it's audition time for 2018.
It's a great opportunity for those guys. You know, they work their butts off, and I'm sure they'll be ready. Coach Will and Coach Ted have them ready. So I'm looking forward to them to get out there and shine.
Yeah, I feel like now is a good opportunity to get out there and do some things before the year is over with. Like you said, to gain momentum for next year.
All right, and the party's going to continue for the Pacers at Bankers Life Fieldhouse tomorrow night against King James and the Cavs. Cleveland comes in riding a 13-game win streak. More good news for the Pacers. Glenn Robinson II is out of his walking boot. He took some shots today at practice, waiting to get GR3 back. Last night, sayonara Chicago. Bye-bye. A monster fourth quarter capped by a key couple defensive stands send the Bulls home. Victor Oladipo, the game winner. He had 27. Is he an all-star? You're going to hear more of that chatter as the season continues. One thing is for sure, he's happy to be back home. Here's Vic on his proclamation that he is home.
And I wasn't saying anything. I was just doing the same gesture I did the first time I did it. I mean, the crowd said it themselves. So it's just an honor to play in front of Indiana Pacer fans. It's an honor for them to get into the game like they did tonight. And it was a great win for us. And, we just got to build on it.
Paul George, enjoy Oklahoma City. Yes, the month of May is on the minds of some top organizers involved with the 102nd running of the Indy 500 today. St. Elmo Steakhouse hosts IndyCar's annual media dinner this evening, and a big announcement kicked things off. Our Wish TV driver analyst, Graham Rahal. Hey, how are you? He's the choice as the honorary chair for REV. REV is the fundraiser party that supports IU health trauma programs statewide, set for May 5th of next year at IMS. Some of the tasty cuisine on tap for that day was in the house tonight at St. Elmo. Here's Rahal. He's all buckled in to be the lead car for this tasty fundraiser.
Really to give back, to try to help support IU Health is important to us. I can't tell you guys, I cannot stress how lucky we as drivers feel that, that we can rely on the doctors and the nurses and everybody that works at these facilities, hospitals, the care center, and the Speedway, everything else. It literally makes our lives that just 100 times easier.
Great to hear from Graham. He's ready to go with Takuma Sato in 2018. Also tomorrow night, 11:08, the Zone's back. We're partying at Center Grove. Look at these matchups. HSE North Central, Cardinal Ritter, Addicts, Columbus North, Franklin Central. We'll have them all for you tomorrow at 11:08.
Good stuff. And to answer your question, yes, Victor Oladipo quickly becoming an all-star.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Watch, though,
I think you can pencil them in. I know you can in Indy. You just need the rest of the NBA world to start watching.
Yep.
All right, last chance forecast. Brad, what can you tell us?
Weather-wise, bad news, Brad, for the rest of this forecast. About 1 to 2 inches of snowfall. A great night for high school basketball because you'll be inside. Outside of that, stay inside all weekend. Look at that, 1 to 2 inches. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough that you'll have to relearn how to drive in some of that this weekend. Just be aware that's early Saturday. The rest of Saturday looks all right. Sunday, just a few flurries. Another chance for snow comes in Monday. Another chance Wednesday. We're just getting into that busy pattern. Temperatures all over the place. Next Friday, high temperature, only 22 degrees.
Bradley.
I know.
Come to Buffalo with us.
Be safe out there on the road, though. You said that, though.
They'll leave me there if I go.
Be safe as you head home today. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you tonight, 10 and 11 and online, WishTV.com.